everybody, thanks for joining us on today's piece of history. Although this looks kind of stock from the outside, it's anything but that. The great news about it, it's not a fiberglass truck or replica or things like this. This is a real deal steel 49 pickup, right? That you or I maybe rode around in the back of in our grandfather's farm or something like that. See, yeah, it makes you smile just thinking about it. Like if you remember the times that these trucks brought to happiness, they were working trucks. And they were also great memories, throwing hay in the back or hanging out in there in a field at a field party, whatever. These were super, super cool, and that's why they're so popular today. The one thing I do love about these even more so is they've continued to go up in value, so getting something cool like this not only is great because you didn't have to pay the money to restore it, right? It always costs way more to restore a car and own it than to buy one that was restored by somebody, all right? And then use it. So color, love the color. They're called competition yellows, a couple different names for it, but just little stuff that I'm looking at that says, wow, somebody spent a lot of money on it. Like all of the pieces, some of the pieces you can't buy, right, have all been redone for just for show quality type things. And I think that the front end of this truck, first off, is great looking. And second, when we look underneath of it, you're going to see so many modern things that make for a great experience. For instance, this has a Heights front end with rack and pinion steering. You would find that on a modern car. These older trucks like this had the tubular, the one axle suspension, or maybe later on they got independent front suspension, and that's about it. But this right here is rack and pinion with independent front suspension, which makes for a great drive. Not to mention the much bigger wheel and tire footprint that's there. These are called black chrome, these wheels, so they're not so shiny chrome. They're not polished, but they're black chrome, and they look super, super nice. They fit perfectly on here and just look great, all right? Anyway, so we've looked at a lot of these things, a lot of the chrome and detail and what have you. The underneath the truck is all detailed. I hope you saw the pictures about that because that's where a lot of the time and effort is put into the drive and quality of a vehicle. You say, well, the paint is so fabulous. Yes, I agree. But if it's all yuck underneath, not done properly, not new body bushings and all of the nice stuff that makes for a great ride and a solid feeling vehicle, all this shiny paint won't matter because it'll drive terrible and you'll hate it. This is not like that. You're going to love it. All right, so while you have this in your garage and you like to look at it every day, like I have a couple of fine things. I have motorcycles at home, and I don't put covers on them. Like I don't have a car at home because we have cars here, so. But I don't put covers on them because I like to walk out in the garage and look at them. Like I don't have expensive motorcycles. I just have a few of them that I like to play and tinker with, right? It's my therapy places where I go, I wash and I wax and I tinker, kind of like you might do with this truck here. So one of the things I love to do is like for a vehicle like this, if you own this vehicle, your friends come over, oh man, your truck cool, it's so cool. Hey, I'll meet you guys out in the garage in a few minutes. I'll pour us a couple beers or a wine or some ice water or whatever it is you're into at that time. And open the hood and check out underneath. And so they go out here to find and look under the hood. It'll be hours or days. They'll come back inside and go, where's the hood release? And you will know that this is probably one of the coolest hood releases ever. Right there, hidden, okay? All right, so this right here, this is how you want a vehicle to be. And I'll show you some detail stuff that's so important that people forget. For instance, a big radiator with electric fans. Why is that important? Because you're going to want to cruise in this vehicle. You want to go someplace, and the last thing you want to do is have it overheat, right? Nothing is worse than in traffic or at the beach or whatever, and the truck overheats, and then you're stuck, and you gotta wait for it to cool down, and then hopefully it starts. This prevents all of that from happening. This has Billet Specialties valve covers and air cleaner all done in here. Nice, powerful small block V8 and like power steering. Some things that you might forget to even ask about. All braided in stainless under here as well. Chrome alternator. Fans on both sides, meaning it has a pusher fan on this side, a puller fan on this side. The radiator is twice as big as the original factory style radiator with a lot more flow, which will allow you to do that. This is just enough power to spin the tires, go fast, but cruise around too. This is not designed for you to take it to the drag strip. If you're looking for that, then this is not that kind of truck. This truck is a beautiful show truck to go to a Saturday night cruise, go out to dinner and take the grandkids out for a ride, take the kids somewhere, go with a good friend or go with one of your kids alone and go for a ride and talk about the old days, man. You can still put on some cool tunes inside and have some fun. So a lot of times people will say, wow, that's a great looking vehicle, but they don't really know why. So let's look at some of the detail stuff that really takes an enormous amount of time to do. And I say that only because people will look at the truck and go, wow, that's great looking, but you don't have no idea what went into the underneath of here all the way up. So for instance, like this right here, this pan, it's nicely, beautifully rolled. Cutouts are made for the exhaust, right? LED lights are buried inside the bed here with modern, but these are blue dots. So when you hit on the brakes, it turns those kind of purplish, which looks really cool, very different than any other vehicle. Then in here, we're talking about stainless latches, okay? Stainless latches, stainless fender supports here, so that's what the fender would have bolted on. The wood bed is all done. Look how beautiful this is. You throw a couple pieces of hay bale in here, like on a Thanksgiving, you park it outside in front of the house. This is a game changer. If you want, we can install tethers on here so the bed tailgate doesn't go all the way down if you don't want it to go all the way. Some people like it too, so they can get in here and they don't have to hang their feet off the bed. Some people don't care. Some people would sit on the tailgate itself. But again, I'm back to tailgating, and I'm having a great time. I'm thinking about how cool this was back in the day and how beautifully restored it is now. All right, so this when this truck arrived, it had a beautiful restoration, but it had a cloth interior, more like a burlap style, which was, you know, maybe the builder ran out of money, maybe they just didn't have enough to finish this here. So I went ahead and, as a team, we as a team, went ahead and finished up the interior and redid the whole thing. So everything inside here, the seating and the carpets and the headliner and the panels around, all this stuff is all brand new, all custom, two-tone, right? And just beautiful, even down to like the mats with the yellow piping in it, right? So you got, for getting in and out, so nice, you got tilt wheel here. And just when you cruise this truck, man, look how this thing fits. You got your armrest, your arm fits just right. Look at this. If you decide you want to take up smoking, you could do that. This would be really cool. Today, it's one of the hot topics out there, whether you should smoke or not. I'm not suggesting you should, but if you decided to, or you could get the fake cigarette. You know what you do? You get the candy cigarettes that we used to get where that first puff would come out, and you could do that. That would be fine. It would be gum, and you could pull that off, and no big deal. You wouldn't get no harm, right? All right, so inside here, and if you can't see it in the pictures, I just want to make sure you can. Full set of odometer gauges, so fully done here, right? And with oil pressure, water, fuel, volts, and 120 miles speedometer. So remember, this truck in 1949 wouldn't have had all of these things, right? The dash wouldn't be painted as nice as your home furniture because they were building hundreds of thousands of these a year. This is over-restored compared to the original model, but that's the way I would want it because you know what? This is not an original truck that you're going to take to every show to win a stock concours event in. This is a truck that you could take to any show, potentially win, but most importantly, you could drive it to work, you could have some fun, you could enjoy it, right? Because it's comfortable, right? It's got the column shift here, so you don't lose any of this room here. Some nice features that you don't even know are hidden, right, are this. Right? How does that happen? You got a nice little remote right here, okay? You know why that works so well? Because instead of mucking up this beautiful dash, they went ahead and hid the stereo back there, okay? This way you can stream your music from your phone, you can listen to satellite radio, you can do all those things, and we'll keep the remote right there. You can put it wherever you want. Maybe you want to put it in the glove box. The glove box is really big, by the way, all painted nicely inside too, all right? Anyway, just a fabulous car with LED turn signals. This is a polished billet steering column. This is a very expensive steering column. This is probably a $2,000 steering column. Throw in the Heights front end, you're talking $4,500 just in the steering part alone. That's why when this drives, you can look at it in pictures and video and what have you, but you'll never know how it drives unless I tell you. And I'm telling you, this doesn't drive like a 1949. It drives like a really cool, solid, nice, beautiful, virtually brand new truck. All right, so to close up this video, there are a lot of hidden little things. For instance, like this vent here that opens up for fresh air if you want, and these cool pieces here. We got a detailed undercarriage. You've seen the pictures of it for the painted rear, separate color in gray. The frame is painted black. Those are the detail stuff that a beautiful restoration does. Throw in the Flowmaster exhaust, which sounds great, right? The billet under the hood, the 18-inch rims all around. This is a lot of detail and restoration has gone to this. This costs significantly more to restore to this level than you have to pay for it now. You say, well, Tony, how could you possibly sell it for that? Well, I didn't pay to have it restored. This is the way you do it. You let somebody restore the vehicle, let them drive it for a few years, and they sell it for less, and you can enjoy it now instead of waiting 2 or 3 years and going through the hassles of restoring a vehicle. Let me tell you something, man, it is a pain. I do it for a living, and it is so much work. It's ridiculous, all right? Anyway, so while you still can, and why this is a super cool truck, you need to find some way to get it into your life. Call us at 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about it. And don't forget, if you don't mind, share the link at the bottom right there. And if you don't mind, like the video. And also, check out the test drive that we're going on. It sounds great rumbling down the road. And I'd love to hear some pickup truck stories like of your past. Maybe you rode around in one, maybe even owned one like this at the time, and wish you'd had one. We'll find a way to figure out how to get it in your garage.